Hello, Wendy.
Hello, Jane.
Welcome to Love Letters, Life, and Other Conversations.
Hello, Jane.
Hello, Wendy. How are you today?
Oh, I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am great.
Good.
Beautiful summer day here in Normandy, 32 degrees. So I've just been shopping and dropped Lena from Parisian Postcards back to the station. She's just been here all day doing
lovely.
sketching and watercolouring, which was divine. Going to have a nice barbecue dinner after I speak to you.
Oh, so nice. It's a beautiful day here too. We are just starting to have warmer temperatures. We're not as warm as you, but we're also in the process of having the house painted, and it's really fascinating. So the house was built in 1785, and I'm sure it's been painted many times, but it has not been painted properly in at least 75 years.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And by properly, I mean prepared for paint rather than just painting over.
Yeah.
So this merry band of workers are scraping with, and so our house has clapboards that are different sizes because there weren't machines to cut these clapboards when the house was built. So they range from 2 to 4 inches. So they have a 2-inch scraper and they're scraping the sides, and then followed up by a gentleman with a sander and all the mask because of lead paint and all of that. And it is a big job. They've been here for 12 hours each day. And can I tell you, I can hear them. They've moved to the front of the house, so it's much quieter today, but I can hear them scraping all day and singing.
How gorgeous.
It's so beautiful.
I've wondered when you said the merry band of workers, whether or not they were singing. What do they sing?
I don't know if they have headphones in and they're singing with the music they listen to, or if they just have a beautiful song in their heart, but it is such the vibrational match for me. Like, I just love that they love what they're doing, and that they do it so beautifully and so joyfully, and that they work long hours and they come back and they're happy. And I haven't even made them their cookies yet, but that's this afternoon. So they're happy. It's an inside job, right? They're happy comes with them. And when they leave each day, they meticulously stack up their ladders on the side of the house, and they vacuum with the shop vac all the paint that they've peeled off, and they take it off of my plant. Honestly, I want to hire them to do everything. They're so amazing.
That's fantastic.
Yes.
What a wonderful group of merrymakers.
It is. And I love that that's the feeling, that's the person, that's the archetype of whom I want here.
Absolutely.
House,
I couldn't imagine some grumpy old messy person being the right fit for you.
Right. And they don't enjoy being here. In fact, it's one of the reasons, and this has really a lot to do with what our quote is, but it's one of the reasons that I've transitioned. You know, when I moved here from California, lived in the city, wedding planner, and then relocated from the West Coast to the East Coast, from the city to the country, from wedding planner to wedding venue. So that was my thought process when we bought the house and barn. It's been 9 years, and I've just been focusing in, pivoting on what is the right fit. And I've really moved away from weddings and hosted events to an experience that somebody decides for themselves to be a part of. So you have, there's just like when people are coming to you to do a Chateau Life residency or any of your fabulous workshops, there's a transaction that happens in just signing up. Like they've already made a decision based on the price point, based on the time commitment, based on, whatever decision got them to say yes to themselves to do this thing with you or do this thing with
I
me.
always say, Wendy, that I think that when it comes to curated experiences, which is what you and I both do,
Right.
that, I mean, I'm sure that all those dots, I's are dotted and T's are crossed.
Yes.
But I truly believe that people cross over the line because of feeling a connection with,
That's right.
Yeah, with place and space and person.
Yes.
And when they cross that line, they're completely comfortable with it.
Yes, 100%. And so that is why I've moved from the hosted event where, you might have someone that's a guest of a wedding that they're not vested in the space. So they wonder, why do I have to park in the field? I want to park right next to the barn. And why do I have to walk? And why is the grass wet? And why? And like, oh my gosh, please get back in your car because you are not a fit.
Toodaloo.
Toodaloo. So I don't know how else, I don't know how to put a sign that says, I only want you here if you want to be here, but instead, I just feel like when we step in to what we are supposed to do, and I can't wait to share this quote with you. When we step into that, we attract the people into our lives that are a match for that. And it goes both ways. If you say, I'm never going to find a job, or I'll never find a husband, or I'll never find a parking space, or the whole world's against me, well, guess what?
Hail Mary, full of grace, please find me a parking space.
That's right. That is right. It's just our brain looks for clues. Words create our thoughts are things, what you focus on grows, all of these things. And if we are spiraling in this negative headspace, that's what it ends up being, right? Worrying. It's a prayer, saying a prayer for something you don't want to happen. Stop doing that. Okay, so our quote.
Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Quote. Okay, and there are actually a couple. So I'm going to drop the first one. And then after I hear your thoughts, then I would love to share with you the second one as well. Oh, there might even be three, but they're all interconnected and they're so good.
Okay.
The first one is, you can live your life out of circumstance, or you can live your life out of vision. And that's by Werner Erhard. So you can live your life out of circumstance, or you can live your life out of vision.
Wow. Well, and who's that quote by?
Werner, Werner, Erhard, Erhard.
So I totally agree with that. First of all, I mean, neither you nor I are living our lives based on the place and the space that we were born into.
Right.
We are both living our lives through what we want and what we dream and what we see as possible, which is basically everything. We think we believe anything is possible.
Yes, we do.
But it's funny. Although I would say that I'm not living my life out of circumstance, my mother used to make me stand in front of the mirror when I was a little girl and say, this is almost embarrassing. I think I told you during I Want More the Next 30 Years, but she used to make us say into the mirror, I'm fantastic and I can do anything.
I love that.
She made us do that. It was done regularly. And if there was any negativity, it was go and look in the mirror. You know what you need to say. You know what you need to do. And I have just thought, just this instant, Wendy, when we were talking about habit stacking?
Yes.
And the first habit that I stacked on top of something that was already a habit, which was going to the bathroom.
Yes. Listen to your body.
Is my whole checking in with myself when I go to the bathroom. So when I'm washing my hands, looking in the mirror and saying, hi, how are you going today? What's going on? How are you doing with that to-do list? How are you doing with that problem? How are you doing with those emotions?
It's so good.
I have never, ever thought of the synergy between what Mum used to say to little 6-year-old Jane and me doing that now. But, in the last 30 seconds, I've thought of that.
It's so beautiful. Maybe you can add to the end of your checking in, I am fantastic and I can do anything.
I'm fantastic and I can do anything. Thank you, my friend. And you could do the same.
I plan on it.
You can live your life out of a circumstance, or you can live your life out of a vision. Absolutely you can. And everyone should think about that. Because, I was just reading something today while Lena was here and they were doing sketching and watercoloring under the old oak tree that's probably 350 years old.
What a beautiful sentence that is.
Oh my gosh, it was such a superb day. And she is one of the loveliest creatures I think I've ever met.
She's divine.
Ever. And I was reading something about, and we've all read it and we've all seen it and we've all seen the quotes on Instagram, but it's the sort of really drilling down into some of these things. And it goes beautifully with your springboard for today. It was, never forget that you can change your entire life right now.
100%.
So whatever it is that you don't like, or that you've grown out of, or that that no longer speaks to you, you can change it.
Yes. There's so much conditioning around not being able to do that. We are conditioned. I personally have been conditioned to hand my power over. I've personally been conditioned to say, well, that's nice that person can do it, but I don't have this degree, this job, this paycheck, this trust fund, this whatever. We can lobby all day long for our limitations, or we can make changes. And this quote is, I feel an opportunity to look at the things like, what narrative have I written?
Yeah. What's your narrative? Hey, Wendy.
Jane.
Last week's conversation, raison d'être. What is your reason for being?
Right.
And that's the very first thing that people can do. If you want to change your life, the simplest thing that you can do, and it costs nothing.
That's right.
And it hurts no one. You can find meaning, find your raison d'être. How do I change my life? Spend some time trying to sort out what is important to you. What is your raison d'être?
Right. I heard a beautiful practice that anyone can do. And it is to grab a journal that's blank and for 30 days in a row, answer the same exact question every day. And the question is, I want.
Yes.
and finish that, and do it every day for 30 days. And you
Mhm.
don't have to read back until the
No,
end, but just answer how today
I
I
want.
want XYZ, whatever those
Mhm.
things are. And then at the end of 30 days,
Mm.
read through
Yes.
and find, is there a thread? Is there a
Yeah.
similarity? Is there,
And there will be. There will be.
yes,
Because what you will have done, you will have set the direction of how you want to live your life. And it will be clear. It will be clear on the pages. You know, without meaning, without knowing what is it. My daughter said to me this morning, let's talk about what is your why.
I love it. I love it. And
And
and it is okay to want. Let me just
yeah,
side note that. We are allowed to want. We are allowed to
absolutely.
want what we have, and we are allowed to want what we don't have yet. It's all about, getting out of the circumstance
Mhm,
and
mhm,
moving into the vision.
mm,
You are allowed. I mean, I am saying this so many times because I did not grow up feeling, not, I'm not blaming my mom, you're
no,
listening. I'm not
yeah,
blaming you. I am just stating a fact that I did, in fact, grow up into an adult woman, not thinking that I was allowed to want.
mm,
I was very resourceful. You may give me all the dregs, all the good and all the bad that's available to me, and let me look at it. And then I'm going to be resourceful and turn it into something fabulous. But
mm,
I was only, in my mind and my conditioning, allowed to work with what was given to me,
yeah,
not allowed to want. And if I did want
mm,
more or something different, I was selfish.
mhm,
And
mm,
I am just saying that it is true for me, that that is not true. And that is a story that
that's right.
I wrote, that my subconscious created, all whatever you want to say that it is. My
Yeah,
conditioning was that wanting equals selfishness, and I don't want to be selfish. Well,
but it doesn't.
no, it doesn't.
Wanting creates direction.
Yes,
Wanting creates focus.
yes,
Wanting creates purpose.
100.
Wanting creates and solidifies why.
That's right.
And then why is our raison d'etre, our reason for being.
Oui, madame.
And without a reason for being, you know, we might be good at our job, we might work hard, but what is it that we want to achieve? What is it that we want to feel?
Yes.
And I love that. I love your quote today, Wendy. I love your springboard, because you know that everything that I'm about. We should just pop in here. I do not want to, focus on it, but remind everyone to send in their 100 words
Oh, yes.
on why they would like to join the I Want More the next 30 years. What is their raison d'etre? What
If
is
you
it?
are right, if you're feeling like there's no way you can not live
Change.
in your circumstance and have vision, that's not allowed, then oh my word, yes, let's
Sit down with a piece of
remedy that
paper and a
together.
pen and write 100 words and tell us why.
Right.
Your life could change overnight.
That's right, it can. And it's all within your power, and you can bend time and space and take quantum leaps, and all of this information and wisdom is already inside of us if we
Mhm.
just take the time to ask ourselves the question,
Yes.
what do I want?
What do I want? And do you remember, Wendy, when you were doing I Want More the next 30 years? And one of the very first exercises I got you to do was the mind mapping.
Yes.
And you remember me telling you that my mother told me to go back to my earliest childhood memories
Yes.
and just mind map those memories. And
Right.
she said, it will all become very clear, darling.
So good.
And it did,
It's
because
all
the
in us.
child who is still deep inside of you, still wants the same things.
Right, right. And the other quote that I wanted to share with you that's just in the midst of this goodness is
Yeah.
pain pushes until the vision pulls. Isn't that rich? That's Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. It's just so good. Pain pushes until the vision pulls. Like we are sledging through this thing that we think we're supposed to be doing. And I think, we've talked about this many times. The giant pause that was the pandemic, people are re-entering with new eyes, with new intentions. And this is just a part of this reinventing ourselves and this allowing of our highest and best.
And I always say to the kids, there is no true joy. There is no exquisiteness without pain.
Right.
And what I mean by that is pain pushes you into a greater, it pushes you and it makes you grow and moves you towards a more expansive, more possibilities in your life. And I'm a true believer that, if you haven't had the pain, no matter where your pain is, I think there's a lot of us that have never had the pain that some people have had.
Oh, of course.
But I think all pain pushes you and helps you to grow and is there to teach you something. It just might start off as something really small and insignificant and just might feel like discontent or
discomfort.
But then, if it goes on and on and on and you don't tackle it and you don't walk around it and you don't look at it from each side and you don't reframe it,
right,
then it can eat away at you. But if you look at the pain, look at the hurt, look at the sorrow, look at the grief, whatever you want to call it, and really examine it, it can help you grow and it can lead you to a new place that it pushes you to a new place that can actually open up a whole lot of new experiences and circumstances for you.
Absolutely. Right.
I try to look at pain like that. Sometimes pain gets me. Well, a lot of the time pain gets me. I am, as you know, just like you, a big crier.
Yes.
But tears are a form of pain that pushes me. And when I cry, I actually can think things through really clearly.
For me, it identifies something that's important. I don't cry when I'm upset. I cry when something's important to me.
If
something is upsetting, I am all business. Like, we are going to remedy this. We're going to do this, that. I'll talk to this doctor, this nurse. I'll manage this situation. I am business. But if something is important to me, all the tears come.
I think that whole, what you've just said, I'm all business. I think I used the word discontent a minute ago. If I've got discontent in some aspect of my life and I feel like there's pain that's going to start,
Right.
Look, I'll use the example of when my mum died. I said a monster comes out of nowhere at any time of the day and throws me against a brick wall and absolutely punches the heck out of me. It was like nothing I'd ever experienced ever before. And it can still happen. I can be driving along in the car and a song will come on that will make me think of mum and I'm there. The monster is not as aggressive and hasn't got the strength that he once had over me. But, that sort of pain was important pain.
Yes. Grief.
It was grief, it needed to be unfolded. It needed to be experienced. I mean, there's no There's no pushing down that sort of pain.
No. And in fact, it's reminding me of another thing I read, that freedom is what we do with what's been done to us.
Mm-hmm.
So this experience that you had in losing your mom and how you manage and respond to the grief and try not to allow it to swallow you, but to ask, what lesson does this season have for me? I know this is happening for me, not to me. So what are some ways that this is happening for me? And being able to reframe, to rewrite that narrative
Exactly.
so that it is for us, for our growth, for our expansion, for our experience, and that we can embody the lesson that is there for us.
Exactly. Yes, couldn't agree more. I love both your quotes. Is there a third one that you wanted to share today?
Freedom is what you do.
Oh, the freedom.
What's been done to you.
Yes.
That is Jean-Paul. I'm going to massacre his last name. Sartre.
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 Yeah, it's a great one. 3 really good ones, really beautiful quotes that you can take. I mean, the whole idea of a prompting journal.
Yes.
They would be 3 beautiful quotes that could go on the top page of a prompting journal on the top of each page that people could really reflect on. Because I always think that pain, I love the pain, and I love the push and the pull. You know that I've talked to you about the push and the pull before.
Yes.
And when there's a push and a pull in your life, it's excruciating, but it's there to teach you something. It's there. It signals that there's something within you that is wanting to express itself. And I think that when there's a push and a pull and pain associated with the push and the pull, stuff can be uncovered that you never knew was there.
Oh, it's true. The breakthrough comes after the breakdown, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And the push and the pull can be very intoxicating.
That's interesting. I think I might have a different relationship to resistance than you do. I crave it less. I crave peace and order at all costs. And that has not always served me well. In fact, even right now, I'm in the process of stepping into my vision for this property and this house and things that I want to do here and the transformation that I think will happen when people come here to have a beautiful experience. And all of these plans are good and expansive and impactful and in service. And boy, if there is not some serious resistance. And I am in the process right now of writing the narrative to propose to the town to get the approval for all the permits so that all of my dreams can come true. And well, the dreams I have right now, because I'm sure there's more dreams. There's new dreams coming. This is just the next.
What you're talking about, that is your pain. That is your Achilles heel. That is your pain in the butt right now, is inviting you to step in to what you are stepping into.
It's true.
And it's leading you right into it to battle.
It is. Yes, it is. And that pain pushed me. And now my vision is pulling me. And it is an invitation. It's an invitation for my growth. It's an invitation for other people to step into their big dream, even though it's not all rainbows and unicorns and green lights and blue skies. There is resistance. It's true. And we can do hard things.
Of course we can.
And
Of
we
course
become
we can.
stronger in the process. So I
Yeah.
might not be super excited about the resistance, but I'm super excited about the woman I am becoming in this refining process.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
I introduced you at the start of our chat today while I was making myself a cool drink, because
Yes.
I was racing back to get on with you. And I introduced you to my friend who's
Yes.
here at the moment, who's very sick and probably is the last time she will ever be at Bosque, but the strength and the positivity. She is an absolute inspiration, reminding me that she is an absolute, she's reminding me that pain pushes until vision pulls.
True. And our experience is not just for us. Like the way that she's responding to her circumstance has a beautiful ripple effect on you, and now on me, and now on anyone listening. And we just we're all connected. We are all waves in the ocean, but we are not separate. We are one, and we are having this universal experience. And it's when we think that we are the only one, or that this is personal and I can't share it, or I can't want too much, or I can't tell anybody about this monster that throws me against a brick wall every time I hear a certain song. We think that we're having this isolated experience, and we're really not. And our pain and our breakthroughs are a part of this larger narrative that we are all playing a part in. And it is for our growth, our expansion, collectively.
I've loved this conversation, Wendy.
As have I. Thank you, Jane, for holding space for me.
Thank you for holding space for me. I look forward to hearing what your takeaways are today.
I think just that beautiful reminder in sharing what you're current experiencing with Eve, that sharing our story, sharing our journey, sharing our pain and our response to it in the hopes of our growth, in the desire for our breakthrough, is really it's a double blessing. It's our experience and the ripple effects of the shared experience that ends up being as we live in community and don't isolate and don't think that we have to figure things out before we open our mouth.
Love it.
I appreciate. Please thank Eve for that gift.
Yes, I will. And, when I cancelled on you yesterday because Eve was going to be arriving around the same time that we were due to record this podcast, and I said to you, I just don't want her to arrive at Bosque for maybe the last time and me be too busy to run out and greet her.
Right.
And that, along with what you said today and what Maddie said to me this morning, Mum, let's talk about your why. What is it that you want to achieve in your life? What are your dreams? What makes you happy? But how do you want to be remembered?
Right.
How do you want to be remembered?
The vision is bigger than the resistance.
And
I'm sorry, I cut you off. You want to be remembered?
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm just saying.
You want to be remembered as the person who runs out the door to greet the person that's coming.
Absolutely. I am. Yes, I do. I do want to be remembered as that person. I want to be remembered as the person who cared.
Yep.
Was there when needed.
Yeah. Not too busy.
Yeah. I think that's pretty simple, isn't it? But I think that's probably it.
Ooh, simple, but really big. I mean,
Mm.
what we talked about a couple of weeks ago about saying no to good things and saving your yeses for the best. If I want to be remembered as someone who was available to run out the door when someone came and not be remembered as being busy, I'm going to need to make some changes.
Yeah.
It's all for our good.
Loved it. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you for, making me cry yet again.
Hey, it's my pleasure. If it's not you, it's me, or it's both of us. So
I'm going to go and peel some potatoes. I'm going to make some roasted potatoes and duck fat with salt and rosemary.
Yes.
And I've got a really beautiful mixed grill and a big garden salad from the potager. Some heritage tomatoes with burrata.
Gorgeous. I'll be right over.
Well, if I start peeling the potatoes and I do them really slowly, you could probably get here in time.
I probably could, but how about if I also make duck fat potatoes tonight, and then it will be as if we are together.
Exactly. That would be lovely.
Perfect.
That would be lovely.
Perfect. Thank you.
Goodbye, my friend, until I see you next Tuesday.
I look forward to it.
I look forward to it too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We have loved this conversation and sharing this love letter with you, and we would like to invite you to send us your love letters. Visit the link in the show notes to send us your letters and to join our email list. See you next week.